knows, this grappler is straight from 1692 Salem witch trials. He be calling out everybody and calling them a witch, okay? But instead of calling them witches, he's saying they're on steroids and he's saying they're bullies. Ladies and gentlemen, the most hated grappler in BJJ community, and that's tough. That's a tough title to have. I believe it goes to Mr. Mikey Musumeci. Okay, he is under the disguise, the false pretense that he is the nicest grappler in BJJ, but in recent years, that is farthest from the truth. And if you dig in and look a little closer, like we're gonna do today, you'll see that Mikey Musumeci has probably created a lot more enemies than he has friends. Before we dive into that nice vault, I mean, just an absolute wealth of videos to look at Mikey Musumeci's most hated moments in the grappling world, let's just talk about his training team, diverse coaching background, coaching lineage. This guy has been a part of so many teams, it is hard to keep track of. Of course, I went to the most reliable source to see where he's trained at, and that would be Reddit. And according to Reddit, he has black belt under Gilbert Burns. Mackenzie Dern's got to fight with Fionn Davies. Watch it. Anywho, Gilbert Burns in, I don't know how long ago, but black belt under Gilbert Burns, you know, great grappler, MMA fighter now. I didn't know he was giving out black belts, but that's where he got it from. But yeah, and he was training under Cao Terra, probably butchered that. And then underneath Cobrinha, Art of Jiu Jitsu. He was at Daisy Fresh for a little bit, or whatever, Pedigo submission fighting, gets confusing. But yeah, several schools, and yeah, that just kind of perks little questions. Like, does he like just kind of go to different camps to learn from everybody, just kind of steal techniques? Does he go there and he's really just a lone wolf? He's just kind of living his own life and teaching himself these techniques. But yeah, it's interesting that he can't stay with one team for an extended period of time. He just kind of hops around, and makes you wonder if maybe they say something that triggers him, or you know, it's either his way or the highway, and you know, they don't like he doesn't like what, maybe if you don't agree with him, then it's just like, I'm out of here, I'm done, you know. And judging from his reactions in these post matches and pre-match talks, it sounds like he kind of a little stubborn, and doesn't really like when you disagree with him or do exactly what he wants. And so yeah, we'll dive a little deeper into that, but I just thought it was extremely weird that he just bounces around all types of gyms. So let's give it off, and let's start off with a little prelude. He didn't really gain a whole lot of popularity, at least in the States, until about his no-gi, when he transferred from the gi to no-gi. And but I would like to, you know, go a little before his no-gi accolades and debuts. He was in the semifinals of the World Championships, Black Belt World Championships, and he's going against this opponent. Close match, ends up winning it 10-8 in the semifinals, and he gets up. He goes to shake the opponent's hand like immediately after the match. And keep in mind, this is a competition setting, all right? World Championships at the highest level. These guys train super freaking hard for this moment. If you don't win, you're gonna be a little salty. You know, it's not personal, it's just, you know, when you devote your life to it and somebody takes away and crushes your dream, what you've worked your entire life for, you're gonna be a little upset, all right? Like, it's not disrespectful, but it's just personal strife, personal grief. And Mikey immediately stands up and hovers over the man, okay? And I'll play the clip here. And yeah, he hovers over the man, and he reaches his hand out, and he hits him with a classic. This guy hits him with a classic fake handshake, comb the hair, and it was beautiful. It was excellent. that could be, you couldn't have hit a funnier move in the moment. Like, just 5th grade middle school technique, too slow, fixing the hair, and Mikey goes full spaz. And this is just a fraction of spaz mode that we'll see later on in the video. But he looks to the crowd, bewildered that this guy will not immediately shake his hand after crushing his dreams. Throws up a heart to the crowd. The crowd is on the side. They love it. They start chanting Mikey. Beautiful moment. But yeah, so that happens, and it's just freaking great that guy decided in the moment, you know what, I'm just gonna freaking hit that fake handshake. Smooth out my hair. Like, couldn't have been any better. I could watch that all day. That's freaking great. After this gi match, he makes his transition to the no-gi scene. I believe he calls it submission wrestling. He doesn't think it's jiu-jitsu, whatever you want to call it. He goes to compete on flow, who's number 1, that whole shebang. He has a couple, I don't know if this is his 2nd or 3rd or whatever match, but he's making transition to ADCC, right? And he has a match with Gio Martinez in the Freakazoid. And this is his first like real publicly pushed spaz moment, okay? And where you're like, kind of like, this is kind of cringe. I'm not sure how to respond to this gentleman and the way he's freaking out on Mr. Martinez. But anywho, just to give a little rundown, these guys are having a little match on who's number 1. And I guess Freakazoid and, you know, Mikey have had a little run in the past. Mikey said he looked up to him, he watched his matches, rooted for him, he even trained with him, and they were all cool and whatnot. But he said once they competed, Gio was different. He was being a jerk. And, you know, I think that is subjective. Like, you guys are gonna go in there and try to break each other's limbs. Like, you gotta be focused and serious. You gotta be dialed in. Like, you're coming to take his livelihood. Like, if he doesn't win this match, he could lose like sponsorship monies. He could like get derailed and not get like another match. I mean, like, this is a big deal for like jiu-jitsu guys who don't make a lot of money. And you know, he was just focused on this match. And even in the pre-fight like show or whatever, he was like, you know, I have all the respect in the world for Mikey, you know, but like when I go in there, I gotta be focused. I can't smile and shake, like I can't do all that. I can't do all that extra nonsense. He's like, I gotta be focused, and it's no disrespect. I need that in order to compete at my best. And it's a competition, and he's gonna want to win. Okay, and Mikey, you know, he goes out there and he immediately runs over to Gio, and I'll show this. And he's like, wants him to shake his hand, and Gio's like, got his hands behind his back, and he's like looking down, right? Probably doesn't even see Mikey. And later on in the match, the announcer even says, oh, Gio didn't see Mikey, and was like trying to be like, yeah, I didn't see ya. Trying to
Gio turning down the handshake from Mikey Musumeci. Oh, and he's okay. So he's saying that he just didn't see him. He was
shake your hand now. And so, anywho, whatever. The match gets going. There's like a moment where like it looks like Gio says like one word, like, you know, he's probably said something like probably like shit or something like that, you know. And Mike, you could see Mikey say like a whole sentence, look at him and give him the Mikey, and but Gio doesn't say anything back, and the match continues. I think, you know, they just kind of sit on their butts and leg pummel for like 10 minutes till Mikey follows to the back and gets like 6 points, whatever. Afterwards, they shake hands, and Mikey like says something to Gio, and Gio's like, I don't know, he's like confused. You can tell he's confused. He's like trying to explain, but Mikey's not having it, and it's like, I don't know what more like sportsmanlike you can get. Like, Gio lost, and you shook your hand. It's done. It's over. It's like everything's cool. Like, stop. But no, not Mr. Musumeci. He proceeds to go over to Eddie Bravo's corner, or Eddie Bravo's in Gio's corner, right? And this freaking look on Eddie Bravo's face when Mikey like talks to him is priceless. He just like pauses and looks at him like, I mean, it's freaking fantastic. Like, he's just like so confused, and he's just like, dude, like it's not that big a deal, you know. And if Eddie Bravo's like giving you that look, it's, you know, you're like a little over the top, you know. Like even if he's like, yeah, nah, it's just like what? And like Gio goes over and shakes Mikey's coach's hands, super respectful. Then Mikey goes on the mic, trashes Gio or whatever. I'll play that here.
You know, like, what is that? Before the fight, he made fun of me for speaking Portuguese. Like, I learned Portuguese from doing jiu-jitsu my whole life, and he makes fun of me that I'm, like, being Brazilian, like, showing respect to another culture. You know, like, I can't believe this guy is a black belt, you know?
Strong words, Mikey.
I don't care what skill you...
Yeah, he trashes Gio, says he shouldn't even be a black belt, and then, like, later on, there's like a bracket or something, and Mikey's like, I want to break Gio's leg.
Mikey, I'm gotta ask you about the Gio match, I guess. So, how you feeling about that one?
Man, I actually am so happy I have Gio as a rival, you know, because he's super flexible. So he's the perfect person for me to perfect my breaking mechanics with. You know? I really want to like have my breaking mechanics down.
Craig Jones is like doesn't know how to react to like what Mikey's saying, and neither does like Michael Sears dude. He's like, Mikey Musumeci here with the he wants to finish his breaking mechanics better with Gio Martinez. I said, ring out bad blood there, and it's like on like a speakerphone into the mic, and yeah, like the other flow guys just like sitting there like smiling like awkwardly like, yeah, this is kind of, I don't know how to say this, and he's super uncomfortable. But yeah, it's just funny to watch that like transpire. But yeah, I'll play that for sure. But yeah, he wants to perfect his breaking mechanics after like everything's been like squashed. And it's like, alright dude, whatever. So anyway, time goes on. Mikey does a couple Who's Number One matches. He lost once to Gabriel Souza and Who's Number One, and after a while COVID happens and all that, and he doesn't do ADCC, but he signs a contract with one, does a couple matches with one. Don't blame him. Get that money, you know. Sounds like one pays really good money, and good for him. But yeah, while he's at one, he doesn't really have a spaz moment with another jiu-jitsu practitioner, but a social media star, or I don't even know what you would call him, an influencer, Sneeko. And anywho, Sneeko's doing like a video review of jiu-jitsu, and he like makes fun of Mikey. And I mean, like, it's a low-hanging fruit. I mean, make fun of the guy with glasses and talks a million miles a minute and says kind of corny, ironic things on his Instagram story. But yeah, I mean, jiu-jitsu's not like, I mean, it's a sport, but like, it used to be like a self-defense sport, but now it's just like, I would say it's just a sport. Like, especially the type of game Mikey plays, I like wouldn't say that's like a self-defense jiu-jitsu, right? And that's pretty easy to make fun of, the butt scooting. But I mean, I still respect it, and it's still high level. And you know, I mean, Mikey trains other martial arts. Who knows? Maybe he's good at them. I don't know. But that's beside the point. The Sneeko guy calls him out, and Mikey freaking spazzes, and it is very cringy. And I'll play that video of him.
Bullies guys. And there's this guy named Sneeko making fun of me, making fun of my friend, making fun of jiu-jitsu. He calls himself a boxer. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. Let's have an MMA fight. I challenge Sneeko to an MMA fight. I'm gonna shut his mouth, and I'm gonna take the bully's lunch money.
Responding to Sneeko, he responds to it. You know, I don't know if he's like actually like this or he's playing a character, but it's like hard to watch. And yeah, so he does that, and then later on, Sneeko goes and trains with Nate Diaz in response to like Mikey's call out to like a MMA match. And like while Sneeko is training with Nate Diaz, we get this gem of a clip with Nate Diaz, the Sneeko of Nate Diaz. I don't know how Mikey must speak Nate Diaz language. I mean, he speaks Portuguese, which I don't blame him. Helps you with the IBJJF refs. But, you know, Nate Diaz basically says, you know, Sneeko's not a bully. You're the bully. You know, you train. Like, you're calling out an untrained guy, like, and all this.
You can't do jiu-jitsu. You just fucking won't fuck it. I'll rip your shit up, but you gotta learn how to fucking stop all that from him. Crash that little bitch.
I saw him do it some more.
I want to beat that little fucker's ass. Just out the way that and he's trying to tell him, I'm like, you're the bully. You know you're, like, he knows you don't know shit. He's like, yeah.
Wow. So
You know, I don't know. I don't really understand it. But it's, like, funny because then Mikey responds to that and he's like, I'll do a grappling match with you. And it's just funny.
obviously, I can't fight Nate in an MMA fight. He would kill me. But I would absolutely accept a grappling match with him since we're both black belts in jiu-jitsu. It would be an absolute honor to have the opportunity to face such a legend like Nate. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, right? I don't care about weight class or anything. I would be 100% down to grapple with him.
And just spazzes on Nate. And now he has beef with Nate, who's like, why would you want to... That just doesn't make any sense. Yeah. And then after that, after these two ordeals, he goes on the prestigious Brendan Schwab YouTube channel and eats pizza with Brendan Schwab. And I gotta tell you guys, if you haven't watched this, this is worth watching, okay? I mean, you got a super intelligent guy with a not so intelligent guy, and it just makes for great TV, okay? And they talk about, oh man, a lot of stuff that is just golden. It's just golden content, okay? You can tell Brendan is just awkward from the start, okay? Then he's like, yeah, Mike, I brought you to make pizza because that's Mike's thing. He doesn't eat all day, then eats pizza and pasta at night. And Mike's like, yeah, I'm moving up weight classes, you know? I'm eating more protein, you know? And, you know, the common person will think, you know, oh, he's like adding in the fish. He's adding in chicken, beef, steak, regular proteins. No. Mikey says, and he makes a point of saying this, octopus.
Your workouts?
Yeah, but I'm going up weight classes my next two matches in one.
Oh.
So,
couple more pizzas coming.
Couple more pizzas and more meat. I'm eating more like octopus.
And he doesn't just say it once. He says it twice. I've been eating more meat, more protein.
I'm eating more like octopus.
Like octopus. He doesn't say anything else. Octopus. Like, what?
Octopus.
Like, why? Why octopus? That sounds disgusting. A chewy tentacle. Like, what the? Is there a benefit to octopus that I don't get? Like, if you eat an octopus, do you become an octopus? Like, I don't get that. But yeah, so, anywho, he says that ordeal. And then next, he talks about the Aljamain Sterling beef he has. And I don't know why he'd call out Aljamain. Aljamain would kill him, but anywho, he says, I guess Aljamain did a grappling match. And Aljamain danced around and didn't engage with the guy and then complained about it, which he was like, you shouldn't complain about like a guy butt scooting if you agree to a grappling match, which I could see that. And it was just funny because he says this to Brendan Schwab. He's like, yeah, if you don't ever engage with the guy and you signed up for a grappling match, you can't really complain because you agreed to that rule set. And it's funny because Brendan Schwab did a match with Cyborg and did the exact same thing. Mikey was like calling him out, which that was funny. That was freaking funny. But like, anywho, why he calls him beef with Bappa? He's already got so much, like Gringo Poppy's not doing well. Like, don't call out Bappa like that. That's so disrespectful. He invited you on his show, dude. And now you're gonna like make fun of the man's jiu-jitsu capabilities? Like, what the heck, dude? But yeah, like Brendan Schwab can't catch a break. Even Mikey Musumeci, the nerd's making fun of him. And yeah, like, it's just like, bruh, wow, okay. So anywho, sorry, excuse me. flash forward to today's day and age, and he has a match with Gabriel Sosa in Juan. Excuse me again, Sun King Cremo. But he has a match with Gabriel Sosa, and as I mentioned before, Gabriel Sosa defeated Mike on Who's Number One some like 3 or 4 years ago, or I don't know how long, but who cares? And Mike is not happy. Like, understandable. Like, this guy beat you before. Yeah, you should be fired up for this match. Avenge that loss, brother. But he makes these weird storylines and then acts the way he does after the match, and it's just hard to root for the guy, and it's very cringe, and it's like, gosh darn, why do you have to do this, Mike? Okay, maybe it's something to do with the name Michael. I don't know. You know, Michael Jordan made up these like weird fictitious stories in his head, and in order to be competitive, like maybe Mike Musumeci does the same thing. Maybe his parents fictitiously draw up this storyline in his head, and like freaking he goes with it and thinks it's true. I don't know. But anywho, this guy after the match is like, you know, Gabriel has been talking crap, doesn't say crap, and it's like weird to hear him curse because it's like a little kid cursing. But anywho, he is like, oh, Gabriel's been talking mad crap for 4 years. He called out my family, blah, blah, blah. And like, I mean, I spent way too much time scrolling through Mike's social media looking for Gabriel Sosa comments. I just couldn't find any. I mean, maybe I'm not looking hard enough. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe you guys can find it. But I don't see him anywhere. I don't see these hate messages from Gabriel Sosa, but apparently they're out there, and made Mikey upset, made it personal with his family. Like, all right, whatever. And then he goes on to say, I smeed him easy as, and it's like, all right, whatever. Like, yeah, calf slicer him, cool. And he's like, you don't have to be a macho man, tough guy walking around with your shoulders out next week. And it's just like, I don't know if that was being a macho man on Gabriel's part, but it's just like walking with your head up and your shoulders back, like just not like walking around with confidence. You don't want to walk around with like your shoulders on forward and like, just, you gotta show you're strong from your opponent. That's not being like disrespectful or anything. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. He took that the wrong way. And during this like post-fight interview, he's like, spat, we're not doing, he has a big thing against steroids. And it's like, brother, like, and he says like, you're morally wrong, or like all this, like you're a bad guy if you take steroids. It's like, dude, you're not committing a crime taking steroids. Like, it's not a good, bad thing doing steroids. It's like, they're just trying to win at the sport where everybody's doing it. And at a lower weight class, like, guys aren't doing as much gear. So yeah, like, don't worry about it. And he goes on to call Baby Shark out. And he's like, do your steroids, I'll still beat you, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, dude. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Baby Shark was doing steroids, considering the Gabal came, but just like, brother, this is cringe, this is hard to watch. But yet I still watch it, which maybe, you know, he's got a thing. He's a genius, marketing genius. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think of Mikey Musumeci. I'm not saying he's bad at Jiu Jitsu, he's just a hard person to follow, and I don't like him. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I don't like the way he acts. He could like be way better, and he should get a PR person. I don't know. It's just hard to, I don't know. He puzzles me.